This article is about the new fitness app ClassPass, which partners with thousands of fitness studios to connect people with their classes at discounted rates. The article was written after the startup reached a valuation of $1 billion, earning it the title of a unicorn. While promising partner studios that their model will help fill their half-empty classes and attract potential full-time members, the company pressures these studios to offer classes at unfeasible prices and even draws their existing customers away from their direct memberships and onto the app. The author, Matthew Strachan, presents this perspective of ClassPass's CEO and spokesperson, as well as some studios that are satisfied with the partnership, but the weight of the article consists of interviews with frustrated studio owners. The title itself is a quote from one of these dissatisfied partners, which immediately indicates that the author intends to advocate more on their behalf and less on the company's. A different article from Forbes reports on the company following their unicorn status, using a title that proclaims just that. ClassPass has become the first new unicorn of the decade. This article gets quotes solely from the company, leading to a more positively skewed characterization, especially since it notes that the founder is a woman of color. But by focusing more upon the perspectives of the partners, Strachan creates an alternative view of the company in his article. Care must be taken here to identify whether or not these perspectives are representative cases or, as ClassPass claims, a vocal minority. Most frequently, these ClassPass claims are parenthetical responses, rather refutations, to studio grievances. For example, after a studio points out that customers are being lured by artificially low prices, the spokesperson entirely denies this, claiming that the customers, if anything, are hooked on variety. This shallow promotional language, in contrast with studios' lived actual experiences, casts a negative light upon the company. It is also necessary to note that Strachan has been a user of ClassPass since 2018. He took classes from studio Yoga Vida, switching from their direct membership to a ClassPass subscription because it was cheaper. This direct perspective adds validity since the consumer perspective is shown in context. Furthermore, Strachan interviews the studio following their departure from ClassPass and is even able to see how little they had been paid for the classes he himself had taken. What makes these perspectives generalizable is that he corroborates Yoga Vida's rates and experiences with other studios, adding to a stronger induction. As for my perspective, I am a college student keenly aware of free things. ClassPass heavily promoted a free month trial to me on Instagram, and I have seen my peers take advantage of this very deal. I planned on trying it as well, solely because it was free. Noting my personal motivation, and that of my peers, I am less likely to believe ClassPass's claims that customers value class variety, not the lower prices, since I am the consumer that is devaluing the classes. However, I am also familiar with one of the yoga studios interviewed in the article, Love Story Yoga. Amid the dozens of San Francisco studios, I have deliberately critiqued it as another overpriced yoga place that's gentrifying the Mission District. It's on Valencia Street, which, as a result of a beautification project, has been overtaken with similar high-end businesses. These have been a partial cause of vacancies among original residents, which allowed landlords to increase rent prices in those units to attract wealthier tenants. So when Love Story Yoga complains about rising rent prices and minimum wage in San Francisco as detrimental to their business, I'm less sympathetic to them in the sense that their very existence is directly causing this phenomenon. Even though it reached a billion-dollar valuation, ClassPass was admittedly in debt to studios. I did additional research on the rise of unicorn companies to see how this could happen. As it turns out, the disparity between publicly funded companies and private companies with investments from venture capitalists is large. Since these venture capitalists have so much private capital available and an extreme willingness to invest it, companies like ClassPass can survive in an artificial bubble of funding, even if they'd be publicly unsustainable. This realization further discredits the ClassPass system in my eyes, as it is less of a company and more of a concept.